There we are. We're
Oh,
live.
we are on.
Sweet. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
We had a little
Hello.
technical difficulties, but we're live now and we're ready to go. So welcome to the magic of bodies. Is that what we're calling it? Or creating magic with bodies? Something like that. Anyways, it's about bodies and magic, and I'm here with Dr. Glenna Rice and Shannon O'Hara, who are both 3-day body class facilitators and access consciousness facilitators, and Glenna is also a doctor of physical therapy, and Shannon is the creator of Talk to the Entities as well. So they have lots of magical stuff that they can share with you, and today that focus is on bodies. So yeah, where do we start? What do you guys want to talk about with magic and bodies and the body class? So yeah, what's the 3-day body class, I guess? Shannon, you want to talk about the 3-day body class?
Sure. Well, I think Glenn and I wanted to get together to do this for everybody to introduce the energies that she and I both know are possible with the Access bodywork. And this is really ultimately a conversation about the Access body processes. And Andrew's calling it magic. You could call it change. You could call it consciousness. You could call it possibility. And Glenn and I have gotten together to do a body class together this summer in Europe. And it's pretty exciting because both of us have been practicing and facilitating the Access body processes for some time now. And I know myself that I didn't even realize what was possible with the Access bodywork until I actually discovered it. Like it's like, so Gary Douglas is my stepfather, and he came up with this body work. Over time, he'd come up with these different processes. And we'd all learn them, and then we'd run them. And in the running of these hands-on processes, what I started to discover myself was a new world. And it was so weird to find out that over time, through accessing and utilizing and applying these processes, that simply just are people using their hands on
Right.
other people's bodies, that not only does the body start to feel better, like that's the very worst that happens, is that the body feels better. The very best that starts to occur is that literally your whole world starts to change. And so that became an interesting discovery for me, to learn that our body is such a huge source point for the way we experience life, the way we function in the world, and the way reality seems to us.
That was awesome, Shannon. That was awesome. Description of the body processes. And you've been, you were there at the beginning when they first started coming up with these processes. I've been, 10 years I've been doing Access, and I've been using the processes, and the same thing. It's like you put your hands on someone and you run an energy, and these amazing changes start to happen that may not even have something to do with your body, but also your body is it's just so different after the classes. There's space, there's ease, there's possibilities, there's things that you never thought you could do with your body, like when you're sick, you just get over these illnesses. I'm able to run better, to dance better, things that I did better in my 20s, I'm nearly 50 now, and I'm doing better now than I did then, just from these, teaching these classes, running these processes. And I see it all the time in the people that come to the classes, amazing stories. It's too easy to be true in a way, because it is so easy, right? And the classes they're incredible. And I'm so excited to do this class with you. I know we were in Australia, where you live, a year ago at a class, and you said, we should do a class together. And I was like, whoa, that is like incredibly light. That is like crazy. And the class is growing, and it's in Copenhagen in next month. And what is it going to create?
Yeah, well, I've really loved getting together with you and Andrew as well in the creation of this. This body class feels like it's building itself, like this thing wants to live all on its own. And it almost like pulled us together to do this for it.
Exactly, that's exactly what it feels like, yes.
And so, yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say, too, it's really cool just how the class is right after the 9 trainings class, which is one of the, great, like the second time Gary and Dan are teaching it, and it's all about what we say is like magic or the possibilities or like the, the really cool stuff that you knew was always possible that no everyone ever like always told you it couldn't happen or wouldn't happen, and it's right after this. And I was just looking on Facebook yesterday, and someone quoted Gary's talking about how much our bodies are what allows us to access all of that stuff, and how much the body processes contribute to us, showing up and being the magic or the possibilities or the change that actually, gets created in the world.
Yeah, it's like I think we've all heard, and like I listened to Gary talk about for years how we don't just embody our bodies, we embody all of reality. And I actually didn't get that for years and years until somewhat recently, to be perfectly honest. And it's through, I know, a lot of the body work that I've gotten the importance of the body in the way reality, literally reality works.
Yes. That's such a, like getting embodiment, embodying this whole reality is not a concept you are ever shown anywhere in this reality that I know of. I mean, we all know that we can, so many people that come to classes at least can, when the phone rings, they know who may be calling them before they even get to the phone. And it's that awareness of this entire reality that allows us to access that. And this reality is about cutting off our access so often to what embodiment actually is. And these body processes allow you to start becoming so much more aware of what's possible with your body. And that allows you this other awareness of how much greater that possibility is than just your body. And yes, I didn't get that at first either. I mean, we were always sort of aware of it, but it was never something you could play with the way you can now after the processes, after doing the classes.
Absolutely. And like for me with the body, like, well, with all of Access, and obviously this is a body process conversation, which I really want to emphasize the importance of the body processes. It's sort of like, I think in Access we have multiple ingredients, and you really require the body process in the ingredient to make your cake fluffy and actually taste, like actually work. The cake of your body.
Yes, I love that analogy. Yeah, if you left out the flour, it just wouldn't work.
It just wouldn't work. And I think that's how a lot of people feel in their lives with their bodies. Like their bodies just don't work. They don't understand their body. They don't get how to create with their body. Their body becomes this difficulty for so many people, which we all sort of just tolerate in life until the body processes come up, where there becomes a different possibility. And, for me, what's occurred, and I can really only speak for myself, although I have watched hundreds, if not thousands, of people's entire universes and lives change with body processes. For me, I've actually started to get my body has a communication, and it's constantly telling me what's going on in the world. And I used to misinterpret that as pain or sickness, upset, density, and so on. And I am like, to be honest, again, like even though I'm a body class facilitator and I've been doing this stuff pretty much, the majority of my life, I'm just getting to the point where I'm actually able to have my body as a co-creator in life, receiving my body's information, giving it the valuable vote in life's choices, and recognizing that,
I mean, when you allow your body to be a contribution to the creation of your life, what it can contribute is so far beyond what most people have any idea of what it is. Most of us are, like you said, all the information we ever get about this reality through our body we just find as pain or suffering or disease or a problem, and often that's this wealth of information that will contribute to creating more for us, and we miss it all the time. And the processes allow you to start to access this communion, this way of hearing your body's whispers in an amazing way that starts to change the interpretation of it's a pain into a million different possibilities of what it can actually be and start to create for you.
I like that. It's interpretation.
Yeah, and I think, it's like the crazy thing is because we tell people, you're talking about all this fabulous stuff, and the people are like, well, what do I have to really do? And it's like, you don't have to do anything. So can you guys kind of talk about how it's different when we talk about these energetic hands-on processes, how it's not really a doing or anything that, like, you have to, like, do so many, I'm just thinking of, like, the standard thing of, like, okay, well, you have to, work out every day, for like a month to receive the results, or you have to, you know, eat this diet or something like that. And, you know, this class isn't anything like that, and it's creating results like way more dynamic in some sense.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Yeah, so in this reality, almost everything, the way we are with our body is about doing. It does a lot of stuff for us, and we have to do things to change everything, and we have to do, like you said, so many exercises, we have to do this special diet. And this class is about receiving. It's about receiving for your body. There is, I mean, you showing up, being there, having hands, having a body, putting them on other bodies, trading the processes is about, as far as the doing goes, it's about being and receiving what's possible with your body. And I know that that seems, like, if you haven't been to one of these classes, that's like, what is she talking about? But part of, you know, what Shannon and I do in these classes is allow you to create an ease with what's possible within the class, allow you to have an ease with how the class runs and how you go through the class and what you receive from the class. And we're talking about receiving and being and doing and what's different about all of those in this reality, and how you can start changing the way you look at everything to create more for you and your body.
Yeah. And I would say that you actually do have to do something. You actually have to do the processes. You have to show up and actually apply.
Right. Show up. Yes. Some of us like to take planes all the way there, get hotel rooms, get taxi cabs to the venue. Yes, there's that. Yes.
You have to do that. And I think first and foremost, it's actually a choice. It's the choice to actually want to change your world and to change your life and to change your body, because that's what these body processes do. They'll get you out of pain and they'll create a real different experience with your body, but they're also going to change your life. And so if that choice, if you don't desire that, these classes and these processes are not the right thing for you. But if you do desire to change your life, what could this stuff be for you that you haven't even imagined is possible yet?
Yeah. I mean, most of the people showing up have asked a question and chosen something they want to change, even if it's not cognitive for them at the time that they asked it. And they're showing up for a different possibility. And it may be just a little change that creates a huge change in your life, a little change with your body. Just the difference that I see when people come to the class and they come in and they start to see that there's a totally different possibility about what pain is. Like, pain doesn't have to be anything the way it's defined in this reality. Pain can actually be a facilitation. It's just a greater possibility. Or it may actually be a major talent and ability that you have available you're not seeing. There's so many different ways it shows up, and we always define it the same way. And just that, which could be a little change, can start changing your entire life. Because once you leave the class, you're going to have that available for you all the time to start looking at things differently.
Yeah. So do the body processes increase your awareness of your body?
Do they? Yes.
Does anyone want awareness with bodies? And that's I think a really poignant question, you know.
and no, that's really great, Shannon, because most people, I mean, that's why we have all these ways of not defining what pain is in this limited way, because we don't want the awareness of what our body's actually contributing to us. And what I see over and over again is once people start to see that it's not that it's going to create something more, that the pain in their body isn't this limitation, this thing they have to stop and pull away from, they start to see that it's something else that's going to could create more, or it's just not pain. It's just not that. They start to have more ease with all of the awarenesses their body are giving them. But at least they start to desire them more and not want to pull away from them the way they were, the way that most of this reality is when we're doing, that we do so many things to distract ourselves from the awareness our body gives us. And this body class creates a lot of ease for changing that point of view that's so prevalent in this reality.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm so grateful for them myself, because I wouldn't have had a way of understanding everything. Like, for me, like food and digestion was always such a big thing, and my stomach was always really dense, and I'd have this stuff going on with my body that, like, I couldn't fix. I couldn't fix it dietarily. I couldn't fix it through homeopathy. I couldn't fix it through medicine. It was like I've tried changing my point of view. I've tried changing my diet, all this stuff. And it was really in running the body processes consistently that, number one, the density in my stomach started to change, and like the peace broke out in my world with my body.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. I mean, yes, it's things like that. Like you have digestive problems, you have low back pain, you are tired all the time. All these things that you think are limiting your life don't have to be true for you. They can actually change with this. Uh,
Yeah, and that's even on the mild side. I mean, we're talking about that, but also we have, I know you've had, and I have also had even people coming to classes who have MS, who have cancer, who have HIV. Like we're talking big time diseases,
Yeah.
and all of that we've seen change. All of that we've seen change. So should we talk a little bit about how these work?
Sure.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to talk about that. And I think the thing you're talking about, Shannon, you know, both of you guys are so eloquently stating all this stuff, and it's like for the people out there, they're like, well, I don't know anything that's going on. It's like, well, you guys didn't, like when you just first started doing the body process, you're like, okay, here's this thing, I put my hands here and I do it, right? You know, it wasn't like you were like, you know, talking about like at length how much this stuff changed for you, or like just noticed, like have this like plethora of awareness about all these things too.
No, when the body processes first started coming out, or I first ran them in my foundation class, and we ran MTBSS the first time years ago, I didn't know what it was going to change. I just know that I knew that I was choosing it, and I knew I was choosing something greater for me, and I had no idea at the time what it was going to create. And I remember just that first body processes getting off the table and feeling this kindness that my body was, this peace that my body was. It was like it was floating, and I'd perceived it for maybe moments or seconds here and there through my life, but it was right there with me. It was like mine now. I could have this, and I'd been working with bodies for years, and I was like right away, oh my gosh, this is something I have to be offering to all my clients and all my patients that I've been working with, is something that I could just see how it could create a change in everything I was doing with bodies. It would create more ease of people receiving that. So yeah, what is this class? What does a body class look like? There's go ahead.
The thing I wanted to bring up in this conversation was just about how these processes can work for people in connection to everything. Because it's like science tells us that we're all connected.
Right.
On an energetic level, not just on a conceptual level, actually on an energetic level, that everything in the universe is made of energy. Our bodies, the trees, the planet, you know, our houses, everything is energy, vibrating molecules. Mm-hmm. And it's through our consciousness or lack of consciousness that we create the world that we experience. And so with the body processes, it's basically the deprogramming of lifetimes of unconsciousness or anti-consciousness that's, you know, chosen by us. It's like, how many times do we choose to go against our body telling us to stop eating, or to not sleep with a particular person, or you know, to not wear those shoes? And those are just some cases. Those are mild cases, right? It's like how much does our body tell us that we ignore, that then turns into our body screaming at us with pain and disease. And so the body processes are the deprogramming of realities of implanting and lifetimes. And that's what's cool about these body processes, is they actually access and unwind all of our body's lifetimes. Because we're not just what if we're not just experiencing our body in this lifetime? What if we actually bring cellular memory with us in our being and impose it on our new body, lifetime after lifetime? So we change really huge masses of energy simply by laying down and, like Glenna said, receiving. And that's such a different way of looking at the world and of applying change, because this is something that we do not work hard at. This is something that we get to enjoy and play with and relax into, receive and create with our bodies in a completely different way. And I hope we're being clear about how this is a completely different way, because frankly, I haven't seen anything like what Access uses with the body processes anywhere. This doesn't exist anywhere else. So this is a new world of possibility.
Yeah. I mean, I've done lots of different modalities over the years and lots of training with bodies, and there is truly nothing that I know of that creates what this class and the Access tools and processes create,
right, and
change.
And that being said, it's like, I think also too what we do, and haven't you found, Glenna, that adding the access body processes to the other physical therapy work that you do and the other the body work that you do, haven't you found that the body processes just assist all other modalities?
They don't just assist it, they exponentialize everything I did. Like things that would take 6 months to change in a body, change in 45 minutes in a session, and then I'm like, what do I do with the next 6 sessions with this person? I mean, I added it right away, and not only did it change what I saw in patients, but my body from receiving these. I had so much more awareness of what was going on in everyone else's body that I was working on, that I could just come in, put my hands on them, or talk to them for 5 minutes and start seeing what could change, what was possible to change with them, and what they were choosing to change with. It was something so far outside of my possibility before Access, and that's just exponentialized over the years. So if you're body workers, taking this class and adding it to what you do, whatever, massage, chiropractic, physical therapy, physicians. I mean, I've had lots of physicians in the class, nurses, anybody that's working with bodies, hairdressers have used it. It adds a level of, you start to tap into a talent and ability you have with bodies that you've never known was available to you, that possibly only you have. This starts to access talents and abilities you have with bodies. Like, we all have awarenesses of energies that are just we have, that we have access to, and the processes start allowing you to access what those are, so then you can start contributing those to your clients, to your patients, to the world, to the planet. You know, what are we changing with the planet with all these body processes?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I know we'd like to invite people to another possibility, but also like to invite people to the joy of actually having a body. And wouldn't that be a revolution?
Wow. You know, Shannon, I remember you talking about the joy of embodiment in classes, like, I don't know, 6 years ago, 7 years, and you'd say, can we talk about the joy of embodiment? And your dad, Gary Douglas, would say, not yet, not yet, not yet.
I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there.
But we are talking about it now. We have body processes that are just starting to target changing the joy of embodiment. People are starting to see what it is. I'm having it in my life, like there's just moments where, wow, there's so much more joy available having a body than anything anyone ever lets you know. And I see I know. And watching people at the end of the 3-day class and the giggling. I remember coming up an elevator once after one of my early classes, and the door opened, and all I could hear was giggles and laughter and joy coming through the room, and I was like, oh, this is what this class creates. Joy of embodiment. I mean, if we all had just a smidgen of what that is on this planet, a joy of having a body and being with a body, what could that create? What would we create? How would our lives every single day be different with more of that?
What a terrible idea, Glenna.
I know, huh?
Yeah, and I think when we talk about like the stuff that you see that changes in the class so dramatically, like from day 1 to day 3, like I don't know about you, Shannon, but I see it every class that I go to, like, or every Glenna's class, like they come in and they're like, the people are like kind of hunched over, they're not smiling, they're not really like happy, they're not very light, you know. And then by day 3, it's like you notice, like, we're like, where was this person 2 days ago, you know, or like you see them. And they're like, their faces lit up, they're like, they have light behind their eyes, they're like smiling, they kind of like crack jokes. You're just like, what happened over the course of 2 days where now you think everything's funny? You know, it's just kind of
Yes. My favorite quote of this, it's like the Access Body class is like driving up to a red light and having it turn green, and you just get to keep on going. There's just an ease it creates with your life.
That's right. Yeah, you actually get a green light with your body rather than the red light of stop having a body.
Yeah. Yes. We don't have to be stopping our bodies. We can start living with our bodies and creating with our bodies and having our body as a contribution.
And I think the one more thing about this class too is that it's like most people have the idea that, like, well, if they actually gave their body the green light, it's like disaster. You know what I mean? It's like one of the cool things about this class is too, it like takes off the controls of your life, like you said. Like you don't get those red lights anymore, you get green lights, but it's like these amazing green lights. It's not like like, oh, I'm driving down to the bad part of town. It's like, oh, I'm getting like an awesome like beach kind of like drive or something, you know? It's like, because most people have this idea of like, whoa, wait, if I ask my body what it's going to want to eat, it's going to make me fat. Or, whoa, if I listen to my body, it's going to make me do something stupid and I'm not going to be cool anymore or something. I don't know. But this is like, I don't know about, like I've seen it in Glenna's classes, and I'm sure you get it too, Shannon. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about that a little bit, about just how amazing your body is about, you know, facilitating you to greater in life.
Well, I think that this is something that's probably,
yeah.
I think that this concept at all is something that is only a concept for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Having connection to the body, having a cooperation with the body, actually talking to the body and listening to the body. I think that that's a very new concept. I think that's a new point of view and only conceptualized to this degree until people actually start to run these body processes. I mean, last year at the advanced body class that Gary did I think it was in Copenhagen, I had that was one of the most transformational classes for me, and I got through some really big stuff, and that was the absolute first time I actually heard my body. And I was like, whoa, okay, that's what that is. And so for a lot of years, I understood the concept of hearing your body or listening to your body, and it wasn't until, facilitating my own body classes and then attending a lot of body classes that I finally broke through whatever was preventing me from actually having that connection with my body.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
you know, I hope that what you're saying
Cool.
is stimulating some stuff for people and creating a sense of another possibility, you know, and this is just simply an invitation. It's like, we're going to be there. Glenn and I are going to be there. Glenn and I are going to keep on going. These body processes are going to keep on evolving. We're not stopping. And this is an invitation to people that want to come and play in this field of possibility.
And the thing is, this class allows you 3 days to play with bodies, to come up, to play with being aware of bodies and aware of and you can't do any of this stuff wrong. There is no way you can do a body process wrong. You can't pick a process that's not perfect for the body you're choosing, because there's no perfect process. It's all going to contribute in ways to the bodies and to you. And give yourself 3 days to enjoy your body, to play with your body and see what's possible. And like Shannon said, you know, talking to your body is you get little bits and pieces. It's like learning a foreign language. You learn how to say sí or yes, and then you learn a little bit more, and your body tells you a little bit more, and you start asking your body, wow, could you tell me how you want to, you know, give me more information about how you want to show me this, if what you're telling me, and you start to learn more, and your body is so amazing at working with you, the being, to start giving you more information. And you will have more access. It's like this little dial we're starting to turn up about your access to the communication with your body. And each process turns the dial up a little bit more. And there's more aha moments in these classes with people, like, oh, wow, my body was talking to me. That's what it said. Oh, this is what it wants to eat. This is what it would like to do for fun. This is who it would like to have sex with, you know.
Wait, and also, too, like, oh, this is what it's been telling me for years?
Exactly.
That's what this is?
Yeah. So they tend to just be a blast because of that, because all the time you're going, whoa, that? Oh, my gosh, and they can do that, too? And that pain wasn't that? The pain I had for 20 years really wasn't what I thought it was, and I don't need to go to the doctor and have surgery. I can just ask this question and change it, and I can keep asking different questions about it.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I love this class. I just love teaching it. I love what shows up in the class. I love the people that show up. I am so excited to teach it with you, Shannon. What a gift. What a gift.
I think it's really kind of cool too, because you're talking about both of you guys are you know, great at teaching this class, but now like someone coming and going to this class gets both of you. So it's like you know, it's not like 1 + 1 = 2. You know, this is like an exponential thing of like both of your guys' wealth of experience and knowledge, and just your willingness to kind of like explore like your own kind of personal journey with your body, and like, you know, relating that to each other, because it's like, okay, maybe like they don't have the same thing as Shannon, but then you have Glenna here who like has a completely different like way of seeing the body too, and like, you know, your professional background and stuff, and then, you know, like, okay, maybe they don't relate to the professional thing, but then they have Shannon here who has like this, you know, it's like you guys have like such different kind of like experiences of it too, and like you see it so differently, but it's so cool at the same time that it's like, I'm personally excited because I'm going to be there, So I'm just like excited to see what changes for me and for my body. And like both of you said, it's like the more you do this, the more ahas you get, and the more you're like, oh my God, this is what my body was showing me, or oh my God, this is like what that pain was that I've had for years that I couldn't get rid of. Like, oh my God, this is what it is. It's like, I don't know. I'm personally excited. So yeah. And you guys are both really excited about it, so that like gets me even more pumped up. I'm like, because you guys are both like, oh my God, I'm excited about it, and I think that's just kind of both the enthusiasm both of you guys bring is just like really inviting to be like, okay, well if they're excited about it, like, oh my God, like what else? What do they know?
Well, thank you, Andrew.
Yeah. Yeah, and Shannon gets to bring all of her wealth of information about entities to the class too, which will be interesting for me to hear. I'm excited for that. I'm going to learn some stuff out of this class from you, Shannon.
Cool. Well, I look forward to it, guys.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So we're going to tell the dates? Copenhagen?
Yeah. Copenhagen, July 7th through the 9th. And it's on the Access Consciousness website, and it's also on talktotheentities.com under classes. And anything else you guys want to say to all the people out there listening? Any like little last teasers, tidbits, anything? I think you guys pretty much ran the gamut of everything this class offers.
I'm just looking forward to playing with Shannon in another month. I'm excited. What else is possible?
Yes.
I'm excited for the bodies too. Woo!
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.